Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Right. I'm Benefactors Willis, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today, as usual. We have a whole lot to discuss. As you know, you can see the title, sort of a teaser, about Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump really bad? Well, we're going to talk about all of that, folks. It's important that you stay with me. For those of you that are just joining us, please be sure, we need you to share this information. Let me tell you something. Like I say this ad nauseum. For those of you that are regulars, that are always here on time, every single time, please remember this. We cannot get the real message out to Americans to ensure that they make the appropriate types of votes, to ensure that they vote appropriately, unless we get busy in making sure real info get to real people. And real info only get to real people if we all do our job. It's about crowdsourcing. It's about making sure that we take care of each other, because you know what? The plutocracy, the masters, the people that run everything, they won't be on our side, because remember, they are extractive and they depend on us being not very, 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 very smart. And that's the problem. There's a document written by Lewis Powell, a Democrat who was elevated to the Supreme Court back in the 70s, and he wrote a document called the Powell Manifesto, the Powell Memo. I want all of you guys to go to my website, egbertowillies.com, EGBERTO.com, EGBERTOWILLIES.com, egbertowillies.com. Visit that website and search for Powell Manifesto. Or you can just go to Google and search, but I want you to get it at my website because I put a narrative on it as well. So go ahead and check that out, because they decided that they were going to tell you that they were going to make you less than smart so that they can ensure that they control us all. I know it sounds kind of fishy. I know it doesn't sound all that, is he just kind of pulling? No, it's not. If you're just joining us, folks, please, I urge you, I implore you, please share before you leave. If you're going to be here 5 minutes, 10 minutes, share before you leave the program. Share it on your page, share it on your thread, share it on Twitter, share everywhere. So what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to talk about today? Well, of course, today we're going to talk about, the title of the show today is this: here's why Donald Trump may not be all that bad. Really? Could that really be true? Can Egberto, one of the commenters, one of the most severe critics of Donald Trump, be actually saying that? Yes, I am. Many consider Donald Trump a very, 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 very bad person, and he is. The thing is with Trump is what you see is what you get. I was speaking to a guy yesterday at KPFT, and he said, hey, I know Trump is bad, but you know what I like about Trump? This is what a rapper told me. This is what a rapper told me at KPFT, a radio station. He said, you know why I like Trump? I like Trump because Trump is gangster. I'm like, okay. He said, you know what I like when Trump said? I said, what did you like when Trump said? He said, I like when Trump said, black people, where you gonna go? Black people, you tried everything else. Why not try me? Something like that he said. I don't know if you guys remember that. And these are two musicians, right? And they're like, he's a gangster. And I started laughing and I started saying, there is a perturbed way of seeing this stuff and understanding why to some people, even though they know he's no good for them, they vote for him. It's a psychological thing. Anyhow, many consider Trump a very bad person. The thing is with Trump is what you see is what you get. In that light, Trump may not be as bad as his benefactors or the chameleons. That is what we got to take care of. Anyhow, have you ever wondered why? Hello, Bobby Jean. She says, Trump is the freaking Antichrist. I hear you, Bobby. I hear you, Bobby Jean. Anyhow, have you ever wondered why major personalities have not openly lambasted Donald Trump? If Donald Trump is so bad, How come the likes of Oprah Winfrey, which has a complete network and who covers issues that affect people, when bad things happen to people, she covers it, and why are these things happening? How come she never talks about it? Kanye West, hell, Kanye West is calling the Democratic Party the plantation and saying, hey guys, you know, Trump is cool, man. Hell, Steve Harvey was found at Trump Tower earlier on having dinner with Trump and checking Trump out. These are all the people that we claim Trump really don't like, right? But I'm going to talk to you about why all of this is so in a little bit. It is very important. It's an important question because while many will want us to fight Trump from a racial point of view, it is much more complicated, and most in the upper classes are not our allies. So yeah, Trump is bad. But you know what? Trump is bad in front of our eyes. The rest, or many others, are bad behind the scene as they give us a facade. As they give us a facade that they're cool, that they're good. And to many, and this is what I've heard from a lot of people, right? They prefer not having the facade. They prefer dealing with the evil that they know. Again, why is Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, Jay-Z, and all the good folk that one would think would want to come out and give their platforms to help educate people on what Trump represent, what Trumpism represent? Where are they? All those people of the higher classes, right? Why aren't they really there? You have to really ask yourself those questions. And the reason you have to ask those questions is because we're playing a multi-directional, multimodal game. And until we understand that, we are going to continue to be played by them all, to be played real badly. Anyhow, let me tell you how I want to start the show today, because I'm going to go in and out, and I'm going to hope that some of you are going to call in. We have the telephone number. The telephone number is 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Give us a call if you want to add to the discussion. But I'm going to go on to several subjects today. I mean, the underlying thing is Trump really all that bad, right? That is sort of the underlying subject. But I want to kind of get into the Democratic Party debate that's going on right now with Bloomberg and all of that kind of stuff as well. So where I do want to start, though, is with Biden's privilege, okay? I really want to hit Biden's privilege because I think it is quite important, because there is much there that doesn't meet the eye. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge, but I do. So I'm going to ask you to listen to this. Then let's take it on the other side. Remember, telephone number 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Check this out. So, there's something that got to me, though. You remember all these months prior, MSNBC, including this guy, Eugene Robinson, all of them have been hitting Bernie Sanders, and all of them has been prepping and propping up Biden. Oh, my God, they've been Biden is going to win. Biden has the vote of the black people. Biden have the gravitas. All these things were Biden is all you heard from the mainstream media, MSNBC. They're all pushing Biden, right? Here is the deal. I've written several times, only when you have privilege can you lose all your elections, right? And somehow they will you to be the front runner. Biden, what a privilege. What a privilege. And finally, one of the same guys that were out there pushing that Biden was the one, that Biden had the gravitas, that Biden has the experience, that Biden had the people, that having worked with Obama, it was going to be Biden. Listen to how he sounds now. Because Eugene Robinson once thought that Biden was the thing. They were all pushing Biden. Mainstream media. Check this out.
So, Eugene, you buy the kind of, diminishes it to call it the conventional wisdom theory that nothing short of a win for him.
In South Carolina?
Yeah.
I mean, he absolutely has to win South Carolina. And Joe Biden has run for president 3 times now. This is the 3rd time. I searched my memory. I don't think he has actually won a primary ever. And at some point you got to start winning some primaries if you're going to be a nominee and going to be president.
Now that is shocking. Bernie Sanders won a ton of primaries. Bernie Sanders, the person that they don't want, they hadn't picked, won a lot of primaries previously, so he's running again. Biden had run twice before. And in neither one of those runs, one, he had to exit the race because of a plagiarism scandal. And the first time he had to leave because he came 5th in Iowa. Again, my question, and I placed this way before Eugene Robinson before Eugene Robinson said this. What made these people believe that somehow Joe Biden was the chosen one? That somehow Joe Biden had what it takes to win? All he has proven in the last 2 contests that he ran is that he had never, ever won, not even one primary. Not even one primary in any state. But he is going to be the chosen one. Why would anybody have believed that? Why would anyone have believed that? The chosen one. The chosen one. Folks, for any of you who want to actually talk to us so that I can see it, if you go directly on the questions or statements that you want to make, go to the actual page for Politics Done Right. That is Politics Done Right, facebook.com/Politics Done Right if you're on Facebook. Of course, if you're on YouTube, you can just go ahead and type the message in there and I will see it. I have this thing that allows me to see all the messages all at once. But anyhow, give us a call, 646-716-5812 if you have something to add. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Don't wait till the end of the show. If you have something to say, I want to hear from you. I want to hear if you agree or you don't agree or etc. Anyhow, so Biden was the chosen one. Over the last several weeks, I've been placing and stating the fact that Biden was going to crater. Biden just does not have what it takes to be president of the United States, to run a real campaign. The only campaigns he's run is in Connecticut, where he's won, but again, in Delaware, where he's won. But as far as being a national person, he never stood a chance. And we knew that. It had occurred already 2 times already, and that somebody did something. We have all these analysts in the Democratic Party that get paid thousands of dollars to come up with things, but these guys don't know the people. These guys don't know what's going on. If they really wanted, folks, if you're just joining us, please do remember to share. And you know what else I'd like to ask you to do? Please share the program so that others can be enlightened, that we can enlighten ourselves together. Anyhow, so this isn't rocket science, but when you get somebody in an ivory tower and you're willing to pay them thousands of dollars for experience they claim they have, but they don't, and when you don't go to the grassroots to see what people are really saying and talking to people to hear what they're saying, I talk to people by email, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, flesh and blood, radio, everywhere. So people like that do this kind of work here, we have the pulse of America. The problem is you have these guys that they're too good to sit down and directly talk to you. So they talk to other people who claim they've spoken to you, and they make decisions on talking to other people who claim they've spoken to you. But folks, here at Politics Done Right, we talk to you and we want to hear from you. 646-716-5812. I want to show you this here. Bloomberg got caught. Yesterday, I played the video where Bloomberg started to say, "Yeah, if you want to know who a criminal is, I can go ahead and Xerox minority, Xerox between the ages of 18 and I think 24 or something like that, or I don't remember what the age is, and just give that to every cop and have each of those cops slam them against the wall and frisk them." He said something to that effect, right? So we hit him up on that one, and he has already paid off, Bloomberg has already paid off a whole bunch of black people to come out and say, "Oh, he's apologizing. Oh, but he's done a lot of other good things." Yeah, you know you're going to run for president, you do a lot of good things, but he's a plutocrat. And, you know, all those say, "Oh, well, you know, he's one of those good rich guys because he does a lot for people." Yeah, you know, if I go ahead and I steal your money, and then I go ahead and say, "Okay, I've stolen your money, let me give some of it back to you." You know, I would love Americans to really understand how our economic system work so that they don't fall for the crap. Like that guy who gave that black university, what's his name? I don't remember the guy's name. He went ahead and he made a big hoopla, gave $40 million to pay off the student loans of all the kids in this black school. And it's a black dude that did that. And, oh, everybody's so happy. What a nice guy. And then I reminded them that, you know how that guy got rich? Gentrification and all these different investments that hurt a whole lot of people, a whole lot of all people, but a whole lot of people also that looked like him. And then he goes ahead and he gives money back to the school, and he has the chosen 400 or 500 students that would be made whole, while the thousands and millions of other students that are out there, they get nothing. They still are owned by the banks. They're still going to be paying their bank loans for the ripped off bank loans from the taxes not paid. They will still be paying that back for decades. But you see, we fall for it. We fall for the rich guy doing something nice. We fall for the rich guy ripping us off and then doing something nice. Oh, he's so nice. He's so nice. I have a whole lot of folks in. Welcome, Sean Miersinski. Welcome, Just Dave from Twitter. From Periscope. Welcome, Daniel Ledoux from Facebook. Welcome, Lawrence Sin from Facebook. Welcome, Bobby Jean from Facebook. I have a ton more on Facebook, but I can't see you unless you go to the Facebook page, Politics Done Right, or rather, facebook.com/Politics Done Right. And YouTube, I have quite a few on YouTube as well. Okay, folks, here's the deal. I want you to hear this piece, and then I have a lot more elaborations to go into it. But check this out, mi hermanos y mis hermanas. Check this out.
What are the root causes of the crisis?
You can go back. I would say it probably all started back when there was a lot of pressure on banks.
I want to stop this, and I want to
loans
recue
to
this. And let me tell you why I want to recue this. Because I didn't set it up correctly. Shame on me. Here's the deal. Michael Bloomberg, like I told you, got into trouble because he's talking about throwing black people and Latinos on the wall in stop and frisk and how important that was, right? Why he thought it was important then. And now, of course, he's apologizing for it. Daniel Ledoux, Daniel Ledoux, I have no envy of the rich. If I wanted to have been rich, I could have been. But you see, for me, it has a lot less to do with money and more to do with humanity. So, you know, thank you very much, sir. Look up Willie's Computer Software Company and see what I could have turned that into, what I turned it into, and what I could have turned it into. Thank you so kindly. Okay, anyhow, as it turned out, Michael Bloomberg, now they found another tape. Well, these tapes, this one was on 4TV. They pulled down the original. You know, when you have power, you got power. Anyway, so they pulled down the original. They have a tape out there now where they're asking Michael Bloomberg what really caused the 2008 crash. Well, people on the right wing, they never want to say that it's the intrinsic structure of capitalism, which is unsustainable, that caused the crash of 2008. The shenanigans that occur in that system caused the crash. So they can't allow that to happen. And they want to blame all those who want to say we must do things a different way. So here is what Mr. Bloomberg said caused the crash of 2008, and it is his implicit accusation on the poor and implicitly on minorities play a big role in his answer. And then I want you to see Katie Tur from MSNBC come back on it, which is very, very important. Folks, if you're just joining us, please remember to share these programs. Check it out now.
What are the root causes of the crisis?
Well, you can go back. I would say it probably all started back when there was a lot of pressure on banks to make loans to everyone. Redlining, if you remember, was the term where banks took whole neighborhoods and said, people in these neighborhoods are poor, they're not going to be able to pay off their mortgages, tell them your salesmen don't go into those areas. And then Congress got involved, as local elected officials as well, and said, oh, that's not fair, these people should be able to get credit. And once you started pushing in that direction, banks started making more and more loans where the credit of the person buying the house wasn't as good as you would like.
Redlining is a discriminatory practice that denies loans to people living in poorer areas. But getting rid of that did not cause the crisis. The crisis was caused by big banks using predatory lending practices and offering consumers across the spectrum loans they could not possibly pay back. The comments are only complicating Bloomberg's effort to make amends for stop and frisk, a racist practice that boomed during his 3 terms as mayor.
I was so impressed with Katie Tur, I had to send her a tweet. I had to send her a tweet because the truth of the matter is she hit the nail on the head. No, the crash wasn't caused by those poor people who couldn't pay their loans back. The crash was caused by the fraud of capitalism. And let me explain in detail what I'm talking about, because this is not up for question. You see, the reason why they wanted to blame the poor is you can blame the poor for anything. Oh, you know, we the capitalists, the guys who know things, we are doing things right. But those guys in the 3-piece suit, well, the two-piece suits now, or the casual wear, who runs the titans of finance now, they are the ones that are not responsible for the crash. I want to detail to you what happened. He lied. He lied. They claim, oh, the government wanted you to be more lenient in giving us loans. True. We wanted the banks to go ahead and provide loans, affordable loans to people who could afford it. And not only affordable loans, but for homes they could afford. In other words, if somebody is paying $900 a month for rent, they could likely get a good home, affordable home, that would be approximately $600 a month, and they can still pay their water bill, they can still pay their electric bill, they can pay everything. So the government was trying, actually it was good old Bush wanted to have the ownership society. The ownership society says, yeah, let's give people their homes. But that wasn't enough for capitalism. That wasn't enough for these greedy, evil bankers, including those people that do financing. What they did is they said, okay, we can make a deal. We want to be able to have that person buy the biggest house, the most expensive house they can purchase today. And the way we allow them to afford it is we give them some ridiculous interest rates. And most people are not savvy. Most people are not really educated in that regard. And they said, we'll hold these rates for 5 years and you can refinance after 5 years. Well, you know what? When they refinance, a lot of things happen. Maybe they're not in the same credit field. The interest rates are higher. And suddenly now they can't afford the interest rates. But in order, because they have rules to follow, and in order to sell, remember what they want to do is this. They want to get a whole lot of mortgages sold. They want to sell a whole lot to you. In other words, all you are is the peon. All those poor people they talk about, they were the peons. They were the things they were going to extract the last bit of blood out of. So all these people went and bought these homes, right? They could afford it then. So what happens? it's time to re-up these loans. The balloon payment comes to due, so they have to refinance these homes. But before all of that occurred, guess what they did? They packaged all these loans together. And they know what loans are good, what loans are mediocre, and what loans are likely to be bad. So what they did is they create these instruments, derivatives. And these derivatives they took all these loans and packaged them into different groups. The loans that had the best kind of value in there, they created stocks out of those loans. And they sold bonds out of those loans. They sold those as entities. So this bond field here would have 100,000 loans in there. This other one would have and then they'll pay interest based on the people paying their mortgage. And to protect themselves, they will then insure those particular bonds so that in case too many people crashed and burned, they will be able to still collect their monies. But there was a catch. There is a circular loop. If insurance A insures derivative B, or derivative, and that other insurance is reinsured by C, and that other insurance is reinsured by D, and D is then reinsured by A, we have a circular loop. We have a collapsing. So that when B collapses, it charges A. Then when C collapses, it charges B. When D collapses, it charges C. But guess who D collapse charges? It goes back to A. But A needs its money, so it goes to B. And by then, you're in a circular loop of failure. Nope, there's no money because it's a scam. It was a scam. Our economic system is a scam that is always ready to blow. And every so often, it blows. So when this blew up, we had a whole lot of those they allowed a few investment banks to fail, but they weren't going to allow Bank of America and what's the name of that big insurance company to fail. They weren't going to do that. So they coerced the Congress and said, you have to protect us. You have to loan us money to unfreeze these markets. For which I said the government should have done that. The government did exactly what it should have done. Unfreeze the markets. But what it should have done is taken away the capital from all of them and thrown all of them in jail for being thieves, thugs that took a whole lot from everybody else. But we didn't do that. Remember, these are white-collar crimes that nobody understands. I am explaining it to you in general terms, and that is how it really works. But most people don't have the time or the wherewithal to sit down and learn this stuff. So they ripped off all those people, right? And then they say, oh, those poor people caused the collapse when they couldn't afford the fraudulent loans that we gave them. So we ripped them off. We took them for what they were worth. We took them for what we're worth. We used them as a form to capitalize on what we had. They did exactly what Trump did with Trump University, what Trump did every single time. But remember what I said earlier? I said, is Trump all that bad? Well, not in these people's eyes, because they are following the same methodology that Trump uses. And that is what business does. Now you have to ask yourself the question, right? Why do they hate Bernie? Why do they hate Elizabeth Warren? Because these are the candidates that are sufficiently honest to tell you that this is what's going on. When Biden goes to a meeting with rich people and say, well, you know, you don't have nothing to worry about. When you have Klobuchar go out there and say, well, you know what, we can only get this done because you don't have enough people in the Senate to get this done. What they're saying is they're all corrupt. And we have Bernie and we have Elizabeth who are saying, we can't allow this to continue. If people will understand the concept of what's going on here, and by the way, you can give me a call if you want to refute anything that I said, 646-716-5812, 646-716-5812. This is important stuff. If you're just joining us, brothers and sisters, please share, because Most people don't understand this, and they're ready to hit Bernie. They're ready to hit Elizabeth. And they're ready to give Biden the benefit of the doubt. They're ready to give the master plutocrat that's purchasing the election, Bloomberg, a pass. When Bloomberg goes out and is preaching the same Republican right-wing line that poor people, most Americans, my white brothers and sisters in Appalachia, my black brothers and sisters and Latino brothers and sisters, and all my lower class white sisters in the barrios and the ghettos. They're trying to blame those people for the crash and then somehow say that is the reason why we don't want Bernie and Elizabeth. Understand? Well, they all understand. And this is what makes some people so, what I always call people, they just stop calling people evil. The reason I call them evil a whole lot, folks, is they've got to know. They've got to know. They've got to know that privatization doesn't work. They've got to know that privatization of things that belong in the commons don't work. And why doesn't it work? Because if I want to make a profit out of it, where is that profit coming out of? Out of you. I don't mind making a profit. I love making my software and having it sold and making a profit to do it. And then I want to pay my taxes because I want to drive on the road. I want to have good health care. I want to have all these good things happening. So I believe in free enterprise. I don't believe in capitalism. I believe in free enterprise. And as you follow my shows, as you follow Politics Done Right, you're going to learn. In fact, when I'm done writing Making America Utopia, I'm going to put that into more details. I'm sorry, folks, for all of you that I promised a book so long ago. There's so much that's been happening that has curtailed the writing of the book. In fact, I haven't written a word in the book in 2 months. But the thing about it is this, brothers and sisters, we have to stay together and we have to understand this so that we can make the right choices. We have to make the right choices, and the only way we make the right choices is if we understand the underlying material. And the underlying material is something that you're not going to get on mainstream media, and the reason why is they don't want you to know that. They need to have you dumb. A dumb American is the best thing for capitalism. A dumb American is the best thing because only here, you know, I was talking to Dr. Wolf a few times, right? And he said, you know, I looked at him and actually he's the one who said this. I've always called capitalism antiseptic slavery, okay? And the reason I call it antiseptic slavery is, and I gave a speech on that going to at KPFT on Tuesday when I was trying to explain, like, you know, people always talk about Americans are lazy or what. Americans are not lazy. Americans work very hard, harder than in any other country. You see everybody, I'm on the road at 5 in the mornings when I'm pitching at KPFT, and I see everybody going to work, everybody following the same pattern. You know, I haven't left my house for work in a long time because I work at home. My software company was in a couple of rooms that I had offices with all the test software, all that good stuff. I left all of that for this, folks. But anyhow, but I get up there and I go into the traffic and I see people every morning, leaving this neighborhood every morning going to work. And I know a lot of these people are not making a lot of money, but every morning they're going to work. And every morning they're passing downtown Houston, big skyscrapers and all of that. And, you know, sometimes I look at people and say, you know, I want an economy that really works. I don't want this kind of economy. Well, look how great our economy is. Look at all those great buildings that capitalism has built. Look at all those great freeways and etc. And I'm like, sir, ma'am, how much of that can you actually take advantage of? Yeah, you built it. You created the economy that allow those few who can use it, who can go into those towers, who can go to those restaurants, who can do all those things. Those few, I can tell you folks, are the ones that take advantage of you. And I can tell you the myriads of ways they take advantage of you because your excess labor belongs to them. Remember that. Remember that. It is so important for us to understand the dynamics of this current economic system and what it is that the two candidates that I support unabashedly, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, because they understand it and they want to have transformational change. It's ironic because Elizabeth Warren calls it what she calls it, respective I don't remember, some kind of capitalism, but attentive capitalism or something, meaning responsible capitalism or something like that. Bernie Sanders called it democratic socialism, right? So my thing is, ironically, both of them want the same thing, right? Elizabeth is a little bit more tempered, and I think Elizabeth Warren probably knows how to play the game a bit better. I think she knows how to play the economic terminology better than Bernie Sanders. I think Bernie Sanders is more in your face of how things really are. But the reason I constantly work with these two is to say, whichever message is more appropriate, I can live with either one without a problem because they understand what is needed. Now, one of the theories that's always put out here is that we want to privatize everything. I want to remind you that all the theft that occur in our government, all the waste that occur in our government, people like to say government is wasteful. Guess who is doing the wasting? The private companies that the government hires to do its work. When the government used to feed its own soldiers overseas in wars, those soldiers needed not get paid. They just buy the supplies, they buy the food, and these soldiers cook their food. They had the cooks they had their own cooks. They had all of that as part of the military, and they did their own thing. Lobbyists find a way to get involved with everything. They always talk about socialism, but all these private companies love socialism. They love to suck the you-know-what of the government. They are the socialists, right? So now you go to Iraq, you go to Afghanistan, you go to all these other places, and guess who feeds the soldiers? A private company feeds the soldier gets a card, and every time you go click, click, that's 20-something or 30-something dollars for a plate of food. It never costs that much if we had our own soldiers feeding our own soldiers. So whenever you talk about waste, remember it is the private companies who go to government through their lobbyists and corrupt them into wasteful spending to take your tax dollar and enrich a few. Because even in Iraq, guess where they're getting those inexpensive labor from India, Vietnam, Afghanistan. Those people are coming to serve our beautiful, wonderful soldiers. The food is coming from the cheapest place they can get the foods around the world. Of course, it has to be clean. We hope. But the profits from all of that then goes to a few. It's best if we understand all these things. Now, I have another video I want to show you because I interviewed a man from Norway a few days ago. He's in Norway. His son got into a cataclysmic accident and he lost a whole lot. And what happened then is not he got real ill, and he had a helicopter that had to go into the mountains to pick him up after his accident, take him to the hospital, all that good stuff. And he never had to pay a dime because within their social safety net, everybody pays taxes for whatever eventuality could happen to anyone. And, he was saying, Egberto, let me tell you, we're in Norway, and, every now and then we run up against our right wing as well. And I told him, hey, this piece was off the record, and I said, I want to tape this little piece here because this little piece that you're talking about is something that I think our audience need to know a little bit as well. So check this out.
What are the root causes of
wrong
crisis?
Wrong video.
I would say
video.
Probably
let me get to the right one. It's the Norway
when
video that I want to show you. Here we go.
Yeah, I saw one of your videos the other day and you were talking to somebody. I thought, man, people need to know about this. And yeah, we're living it. There's a lot of stuff. Life is complicated and nothing is free. Mm-hmm. Sure, it's expensive to live in Norway, but you don't have to pay $15,000 a year to, I don't know where I would get $15,000 a year to pay for health insurance.
Yeah, that's what it costs.
But, we pay more for gasoline. We pay a moderate amount of taxes, income tax. we just got a different attitude. And there, you know, we got right wingers here too who are trying to privatize stuff. They managed to privatize railroads last year, and it just went to hell in a handbasket, and all prices went up, and trains didn't run on time. You know, they're trying to privatize the post office and stuff. Fortunately, they haven't come so far as to ruin the healthcare system. So
that is what a lot of people don't understand. What you just said is prescient. Absolutely so. Now, the reason I brought that up, you know, over here, everybody wants to privatize everything. Not everybody. The capitalists want to privatize everything. You know, what I try to inform people is math is absolute. If you try to privatize something that's in the commons, healthcare, transportation, and all these kinds of issues like bus, I'm talking about city transportation and all of that, unless you are going to pay, the only way it works, right? Because remember, the person who, the company, corporation, or whatever, who's going to buy the buses, who are going to buy the trains, they're not only going to do that, right? They also want to make high salaries for their executives, and they also want to have a profit for the shareholders who are going to buy the trains. But if you're a government and you buy the trains and you buy the buses, you don't have to pay executives high salaries. You don't have to pay shareholders. You don't have to pay any of that. You just have to have the cost of the bus, the cost of the trains, the maintenance of all of these, right? And that means a lower cost to everybody who has to pay the bus fare, the train fares, etc. So something like that's essential, like people moving around in a city in buses and trains. Something as essential as healthcare. We want to have the least privatization in those domains. And why do we want the least privatization? Because we understand the additional cost of privatization. People like to talk about efficiency. There's nothing inherent within privatization that is more efficient than government, right? There's nothing, and I repeat this, the same people that would work for government is the same people that would work for a private company. The question is about leadership. The question is about how efficient you will make leadership. What the Powell Manifesto had to do. The Powell Manifesto had to make Americans stupid. It had to tell you that there was something inherently better in a private company than a public company. And the really only difference between the private and public company is that a private company, they have leaders, they have managers. A public company have leaders and managers. But that private company also has shareholders and bonuses for executives that they work for. That's how it works. So inherently, the only way for those executives and those shareholders to get money is either to raise the prices of the same product being produced either by the public company or the private company, or to pay the employees of the private company less so that more of that money can go to the shareholders. And that's exactly what happened. From charter schools, if you take a look at charter schools that are private, they pay their teachers less. They have less requirements of the teachers in order for their shareholders and executives to make more. It's not rocket science. It's math. It's absolute math. But what they try to do to you, my brothers and my sisters, is to ask you to disregard those realities. And you disregard those realities at your peril. Because what it means is, as you go down that road of privatization, it means teachers make less money. It means all the people working within those sectors ultimately will be minimized. So they say, but wait, isn't it true that the public sector pays more? It all depends on the job. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. So we have to learn these issues so that we don't have those who lie to you actually are successful in their lives. Folks, if you want to call me, you can give me a call at 646-716-5812. I'll be more than happy to talk to you on these subjects. 646, and I'm going to go to answer some of these questions on the chat room right now. But before, I want to remind you that we are we require Politics Done Right needs subscriptions, and we'd like for you to consider subscribing. And to subscribe, it's very, very easy. I'm going to put You can go to Patreon, patreon.com/Patreon. That is patreon.com/politics done right. Patreon.com/politics done right. And I just added that into the chat room. You can also support us by going to our GoFundMe for our equipment fund. The GoFundMe for our equipment fund is at gofundme.com/independent-media-upgrade. Again, that is gofundme.com/independent-media-upgrade. And of course, you can give a contribution to the show. Either if you are on YouTube, you can just click that $ and give us a super chat. Any amount that you want to give for a super chat. Say, yeah, we want to support this show because we know we want to get this message placed out there as far and wide as possible. But you can also go ahead and go to paypal.me/politics done right. Again, that is paypal.me/politics done right. But you know what else? You can go to our store. We have some cool t-shirts, mugs, and my book. All that good stuff you can get at the store. And how do you get to the store? You get to the store at Let me do that again. You get to the store by going to store.politicsdoneright.com. And on the screen, if you take a look at the screen, you see we have I support independent media. I support independent media with the Politics Done Right logo on there. It's a beautiful shirt. And we also have that other shirt that talks about Donald Trump with a handcuffs on, Donald Trump with the ball, the hang ball on. So you can go ahead and go to what is it called? To store.politicsdoneright.com. We have a whole lot of stuff there, and the URL is right there on the screen as well, store.politicsdoneright.com. I had another video to show you. It's an interview that I did at KPFT with the show called what is the show called? I can never remember the name of the show. Anyhow, I did the interview at the show there. I was going to play it today, but I don't really have the time. I kind of went a little bit over with my soliloquy, so I didn't have the time to do the show, to play that. I may go ahead and play that tomorrow. Okay, let me go to all the messages out here. Let's see. Daniel Lado says, replying to Bobby Lee, hello, overreact much? Are you not embarrassed posting a comment like those and removing any doubt you're a fool? I don't know who you're referring to. I think, Bobby Jean, I think he was talking to you. But Bobby, he feel for him. Anyhow, Sean Mierzinski says, honestly, no one running against Trump right now can't beat him. That is the funny thing about it. I think a lot of people are unnecessarily scared because I'm like you, sir, who do believe that Donald Trump is very beatable and that we are going to beat Donald Trump like a drum. But I think it's even going to be worse. We're taking the Senate, the House, we're taking everything because it's all going to coalesce down. But what we have to do right away is continue the education. We have to continue isolating people from the fallacies that's going to be out there because they have a machine. They have a machine ready to lie to us all. Okay. Let's see. You said honestly, no one running can. I don't know what you're saying, Sean. I don't know if you're saying can't beat him or can beat him. Everyone that is running right now, Sean, can beat Trump. Trump is a paper tiger. They have to have this big facade out there. Oh, it's so great. And the polls that they're doing is, I'll talk about the polls another day. Okay, Just Dave says Trump hired illegal Mexicans to build his hotel and refused to pay them. So what's new? He gifs everybody. Just Dave also say he's dirty. It's true. He's bad business. It's true. And Daniel says, careful, Egberto, your envy is showing. Let me tell you, sir, I have no envy. I envy no one because I'm very happy within my skin and etc. Okay, Bobby Jean says, politics as usual will not work anymore. I hope people want real change. I have voted Democratic all my life because I'm a union member. The Dems have always supported unions. I'm a 65-plus person that has been seen the game of politics for 45 years. Here's what happens as a Republican gets elected and screws everything up by protecting the rich. A Democrat gets elected to fix all the crap the Republican did, but doesn't do it fast enough. The people forget Then the Republicans scare the uninformed to vote them in again. You are a genius. You are, Bobby Jean, you, in that one paragraph, and let me finish reading your paragraph. They protect the rich, again, screw things up, starts wars, kill the earth. Here we go again. No more. We need big change that will last. To me, Bernie is the last hope. He is different. We need different big time. Yes, we do need different big time. And what it takes, though, folks, is having a belief, believing, and not only believing, but making that belief come through. You be the one who make it happen. Give us a call, 646-716-5812 if you are so inclined. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Okay, Lawrence Sims says, although Bernie lost 4 times, 72, 76 for governor and 72, 74 for senator in Vermont before winning and lost the presidential race, we continue to push him as a victim and expect him to become president. The big elephant in the room that we don't want to see is that Bernie did not say about stop and frisk in his birth state during that period. As you say, the one that you don't see is the real dangerous one. Yes, it is. But I think, my brother Lawrence Sim, you have a, I don't want to say that irrational, but I am not trying, I don't believe in, what does Bill Moore call it? Exclusion, they call it something. There's a word that they use to erase people because of one mistake they make or because they didn't react exactly as I think they would react. The reason I was hard on Biden is because Biden has never changed. You can look at how Biden campaigns. Biden is really inept, and Biden doesn't have much to talk about to help the people that need the most help. It's that simple. I think Biden is a nice guy to have a cup of coffee with, but Biden just doesn't have it. Period. Neither intellectually or otherwise. Neither from the standpoint of having the policies that we need for those in the true middle class and the poor. When it comes to the rich guy shows that he's a true capitalist who puts capital ahead of humanity. All the statements that he's made with the 2 videos that I showed with him is clear, positive. These aren't old-time videos. These are recent videos. One is 2008, not so recent. The other one is 2015. Throwing guys up against the wall. Xeroxing what the typical criminal is going to look like and just give it to the cops. Come on now. Rose Williams, welcome aboard, my dear sister. Bobby Jean, reply to Bobby Jean. You are. I won't call Daniel what you called him. Okay. Daniel Ado, congrats on your self-awareness. Above hits the nail on the head. Rose Williams, Jean, above hits the nail on the head. Hello. Okay. Daniel says, Egberto, I think you need to know that socialism is evil. No, it's not. Taking care of people is not evil. All right? Socialism says I take care of the social state. Doesn't have anything to do about freedom. Well, we call it actually democratic socialism, but I said I was going to stay away from the words and talk about what we want to do for people. What we want to do for people is ensure they have economical health care, ensure that health care is a right, a whole lot of things that we stand for. That is what most Americans stand for. Let's see. Daniel Lado, I think you need to know the difference between democratic socialism and social. You know, Bobby Jean, you're on the money. I didn't even see your comment and you already answered it. Bobby Jean, love you, girl. You're doing just the right thing. Daniel Lado replying, LOL, really stop. Your ignorance is not good look. Actually, it seemed, Daniel, that more so than anyone else, you are looking in the mirror, my friend. Rose Williams, yes, it's been proven that capitalization of these services is very wasteful and expensive. Yes, Rose, it's math. It's math. And that is what drives me crazy with these folks. They don't understand math. Okay, Daniel Lado, explain what your ignorance, your extremism, or your confusion as the nature of, not worth mentioning. All right, Bobby Jean says, good job, Daniel, re-emphasizing my, not worth it. Ruslan Fernandez. Ruslan Fernandez. The lie that Republicans are spreading is that there is no Democrat capable. It is a lie. Of course it's a lie. Of course it's a lie. Okay, we're coming close to the end of the show. I want to ask you again to please go to patreon.com, patreon.com/politicsdoneright. Become a subscriber. We need 1,000 subscribers. We have just a few so far, about 100 or 100, a little over 100 combined subscribers. We need quite a bit more to be viable. I know I can count on you. Those of you who are on YouTube, anyone who wants to go ahead and do a super chat, feel free to do so. You can also go to that place that we call our store, store.politicsdoneright.com, and support the program. You know, folks, love you all. I love what you do. I love that you're here with me. I ask you to continue to share our programs. It is imperative that we do so. By doing so, what we ensure is we ensure that, let's see, that people all over, we are on Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all over the place. And today in our message queue, we have messages on all the platforms as well. Look, we are going to be heading out of here. My name is Egberto Willies. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all for being here with me, because I could not do this. I could not possibly do any of this without you. You guys are the heroes of the revolution. You guys are the heroes of the transformation that we must have. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!